Kohler-Barnard, are you aware of the South African Reports, Volume 5, case of independent media versus the Minister of Intelligence, which actually dealt with the classification nature of an information that has been publicized?
I'm not aware of it.
For the benefit of your legal team, it's independent media versus the Minister of Intelligence. It's in the South African Law Reports. It's a 2008 case, page 31. That decision says a classified information that is in the public domain does not lose its classification. Do you perhaps now see that the fact that you say this information was in the public domain does not really make any solid argument?
My response would be classified when, by whom, under what level. As a member of the Police Portfolio Committee, there was no reference to any classification of anything. So I don't think this is the same matter.
So is it evidence that
it's not as though
it was not classified?
There was no classified documentation at all available at any stage
Why
that I know of.
Refer it to the IGI?
I did.
Why?
Because I thought that he would be best placed. He is best placed, not thought. He is best placed to investigate.
It is because you knew that the information in its nature deserves an intervention from the Inspector General of Intelligence.
To my eye, it looked exactly like a carbon copy of the looting that was undertaken under Richard and Bluely.
And it deserved an attention from the IGI.
Indeed.
Do you agree that all the reports by the IGI are classified?
They are.
Okay. Do you see where I'm going? That you have no knowledge of any classification of the information, but on the same day when you went to the public, you wrote to the IGI, but without waiting for the report from the IGI, you went to the public. Do you get where I'm trying to go to? Because it is my view that the fact that you had to write to the IGI is because you knew the nature of the information might need a classification, because you know that the IGI reports are actually classified. So I'm not quite convinced that you had no knowledge of any classification of the information.
I had absolutely, the properties were out there in the public domain. I had no idea this story about the hotel was ever going to come out anywhere. I don't know where the information came from, but in my experience, when an entity is starting to show signs of corruption, people inside, as we heard, they go through the steps, they go and report it, they report it, and eventually what happens is the place starts leaking. It happened with the State Security Agency 5-6 years ago. It was leaking like a sieve because people were unhappy with what was going on. I believe this is what's been happening with crime intelligence.
Applying the reasonable man's test, would it not have been reasonable for a member of the National Assembly to write, as you did, to the IGI, await a report on the factuality of what you saw on the media, then you go to the public?
I wrote to him and I told the public I wrote to him about what was in the public domain.
Would it not have been a reasonable indiction or a reasonable reaction for a member of parliament to, as you did, agreed, write to the IGI, await the IGI to give you a factual report on what has been reported in News 24, then you go to the public with factual information? How
would I go to the public on a report that is kept within the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence?
Okay, let's pass that matter. Tell me, as you have served, I'm just following where Oram Sangwane left, as you have served in the JSCI for a number of years, you take a secrecy oath. Does it expire after the 5 years?
As far as I'm concerned, yes. That
So you-
pertains to that
you-
specific committee, and one may not leak any information out of that specific committee. Which
So
shut down
secrecy
the
oath
day
does
of the
not-
election. Yes.
So the secrecy oath does not expire after the expire of the term at JSCI.
I have never leaked anything out of the committee.
No.
That's what I swore not to do.
Okay. Do you believe everything that you see on the media?
Don't be silly. No,
Beg your pardon?
no, that would be silly.
That would be silly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I question everything.
Do you not, as you make an assertion in your statement that part of what you have that has driven you to go to the public is the fact that you're a member of parliament, and therefore, if you see something, you need to act in the interest of the public.
It's my job.
Do you not think that it would have been reasonable, explainable, had you follow the matter in due course, instead of starting by the public and the writing on the same day?
The information was written in great detail, and I followed up on that.
So you believed it as it was written.
Yes, I did.
So you believe everything that is.
I do not believe everything that I read. I
You have an
believe what
obsession
you,
with the media.
I beg your pardon?
You have an obsession with the information in the media.
Obsession?
Hmm.
Certainly not.
I do not. Why were you demoted in 2015 as the shadow minister of police?
Because I shared a Facebook post that was inappropriate.
And you don't have an obsession?
Obsession with what? That's not something
sharing.
that was in the media.
Sharing information you're not supposed to share.
I made a mistake. I admitted it. I took the punishment. I moved on.
Let's hope that this is not a second mistake. We're going to take your word for it. Did you not consider that sharing the description of the properties in the public as a responsible leader of the public and its locations is a irresponsible action that may endanger national security?
I believed I did the right thing, asking for an investigation which seemed to be corruption. I swore to myself when I read the high-level review panel report that this committee should never hide away such corruption again. And certainly nothing came to my attention in the previous 5-year term. This came out in the public domain, and I immediately felt this was absolutely something that had to be raised. And I only raised the properties that were in the public domain. I had no idea it was such a much larger issue.
The point is, did you not consider it as endangering the national security?
I don't consider corruption to be something one can lightly brush aside. And I don't believe that massive buildings have anything to do with being front companies, as was explained in detail by Mr. McBride.
You correctly wrote to the IGI and took for the IGI to actually make an investigation on the matter and report to the JSCI. Correctly so. So in this instance, you have got an objective cause that there must be an investigation, then a report to Parliament, as Section 198 says, that the authority of the intelligence is in Parliament. Now, that's the first action you took, which I commend you on it. The second action you took was to make a statement in the public. What objective did you want to?
I wanted to show that I was doing my job as a member of Parliament.
But it was already something in the public, so there was nothing you were bringing.
I don't talk about things that are in the committee. This was in the public domain.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is you were doing that as a member of the public.
Yes.
So I'm saying you are not bringing something new. It's something you also, with the public you're communicating to, you saw in the media.
Yes.
So there's nothing new we are bringing.
Sorry.
So I'm trying to get the objective of you going out there when you have already followed a due course.
Why shouldn't I? It's my job.
Okay. Do you think the nature it was shared, no, I'm trying to establish a difference of complaining about what we've seen in the public, which you think may be something that endangers the national fiscus. But do you consider it not negligent to share the location, the pictures, and all that?
As far as I know, nothing was classified.
Nothing was classified. Have you received the report from the IGI?
I have seen the report within the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence, and I'm not going to refer to it because, of course, it was seen within the Joint Standing Committee.
Can you repeat that?
I have seen the report or had the presentation made by the IGI within the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. Therefore, I will not talk about it.
Okay, now it is classified.
Yes, now it's within the Joint Standing Committee.
Before you were not aware of the classification, whether it was classified or not.
Anything that is presented within the Joint Standing Committee is classified.
No, you did not get this information from the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence. You got it from News 24.
Yes.
So did it not trigger you that this may be because you have served in the JSCI for a number of years? So you have got an institutional memory than I do as a member of Parliament as well. So did it not trigger your conscience that this may be an improper sharing of information by a media house? Did not trigger you that before making any action on it, I should exercise caution in further sharing it and further make a clarity within the system so that we're able to best know that this is how such kind of information I should deal with going forward?
I cannot be part of a cover-up. I will not be part of a cover-up. And simply ignoring what was in the public domain would have been exactly that.
So when you say you cannot be part of the cover-up, it means that you have got a strong belief on things that are said in the media without verifying them.
Do you imagine I didn't check what was going on?
No, because you wrote on the same day and you went to the public on the same day.
So,
and you are not giving us any confidence.
Excuse me, you're mistaken. You're mistaken.
Okay.
It was our other honourable colleague, James, who put out a statement on the same day.
Did you not put a statement on the 14th of January?
I put out the statement the day after this information was in the newspaper.
Which is which date? Is it
article,
not the 14th of January?
The article was the 13th of January, and that's the statement that Action SA then commented on that. Mine was the next day after I'd spoken with various
So it
people
was
about
today you made a public statement a day after?
Day after
having followed
this came in the newspaper.
Having followed which process? In verifying the veracity of what is in the media?
I did exactly that.
No, I'm asking.
I checked
with... The article is on the 13th.
Yes.
You make your own statement on the 14th.
Yes.
Having undergone which verification process on the factuality of what is said in there?
I speak to various people who are my sources. I spoke to the minister. I spoke to a number of people saying, can this possibly be true? And I was satisfied in my own mind that it was.
Spoke to the minister?
Yes, Public Works. It's in my letter saying that I had spoken and that as the custodian of immovable property, he had not been approached to purchase this property.
So the minister was not aware?
No.
When did the property, when was it bought?
I think the previous year, after the election sometime, the date is in the article somewhere, but certainly while the Joint Standing Committee was not sitting.
So you're not aware if it was bought before or after the elections of 2024?
I had in my head that it could be after, but I can't recall the date. October 2024 is where it is.
When it was
I didn't have it when it was purchased.
when it was actually awarded.
I
So
think-
we're not
I'm-
aware if the process would have started before June 2024, and then the final was in 25.
I can't help you with that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because you would understand that purchasing a property may not mean that you go and swipe today, then it has been
Certainly.
purchased. Yeah, so there's serious process that is undergone, which may actually mean that the process had been started before June 2024. But it's fine. It's something we're going to verify.
First I heard of it.
Something we're going to attend to. There is an issue about the letter that is written a wrong date in October, which was supposed to be dated 14 January.
Yes, it was a clerical error.
Did you send that letter to the minister, to the IGI
To the
through your
yeah.
email?
Pardon?
Was it through your email address?
No, it was through the staff email,
Staff
my staff that I work with.
in the Parliamentary office.
No, in the Democratic Alliance office.
Let's pass that. There is an issue that keeps on coming in the article or in the articles that the property was bought at just over 22 million rands, 22 or 24, around that. But when you check on the listings, property listings, it actually costs 9.4, 9.2, around that, 9.5, I think that's what it's said in your article. Your article is at DKB3. Now, should we take it that the actual grievance that you hold is the actual value of how the property was taken, judging from the language that is used in your public statement?
It raised serious questions about the amount, in the same way as I described earlier, when a bottle of water is purchased for 200 rand, when in reality, through the budget, when in reality it costs 5 rand. This is a prime example of what Richard Mkhwanazi was doing, is spending enormous amounts on things that actually weren't worth that amount. So that was one of the issues that was ringing bells in my head.
So should we take it that the central argument you are bringing in your grievance is that there may have been an escalation of the budget of or the value of that particular property without due process or whatever?
I think it speaks exactly to what the evidence leader was speaking and what this committee has looked at a great deal, which is the supply chain abuse.
So the value it was bought versus the listing property value, is that your main argument, or there are other issues that you are raising in there?
There are certainly
IGI?
issues, but that's one of the issues I asked the Inspector General to look into, because it was raising warning letters for me.
TKB7 is your question to the Minister of Police, which kept on referring you to the JSCI.
This is right, yes.
Do you agree with that? The matter, it does not belong to his office, but the JSCI?
No, there was no JSCI initially.
Yeah, but there was going to be a JSCI. There's no term of parliament where JSCI is not established. You know, there's been a delay on establishing committees and a number of things.
I know full well.
But the point is, there was certainty that JSCI is going to be established by Parliament.
Yes,
Was this required?
I had at that stage no idea when it would ever be established, but either way, this was in the public domain and crime intelligence falls under the Minister of Police. That's the correct person to speak to.
Did you agree that the Minister of Police is correct when they say the matter you keep on raising with them, both for the Pretoria North and the Durban property, does not belong with the Minister's office, but the JSCI?
That's not what he said.
What did he say?
He said he in fact agreed that the prices seemed to be exorbitant in relation to the value of the properties, and that he said that he had asked for an investigation by the Inspector General, but that further answers will be delivered to the JSCI.
DKB9, there's an article of you demanding an apology from General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi.
Yes,
Why was the apology demanded?
because I believe he thought I had leaked out of the Joint Standing Committee. I think he thought I leaked this thing on this 5-star hotel when I knew nothing about it and the committee wasn't sitting. He made a mistake. I thought he might apologize, but of course he didn't. He doubled.
Made a mistake when he was testifying in the commission.
Yes, saying that I was part of a criminal syndicate and had committed criminal actions.
But do you not think that it would have been seen that you are intimidating witnesses in the commission? Would not have awaited the commission to make its own finding on the allegations. Remember, both the commission and the ad hoc are dealing with allegations. So would it not be proper for you to await the commission to announce itself on that particular allegation? Because it may be seen from a different angle that you are intimidating witnesses appearing before the Nhlanhla Commission.
You're suggesting that what I say would intimidate Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. I'm sorry, that cannot